Now, the latest problem to hit the trouble-plagued Snowy 2.0 project is a strike, with more than 1,000 workers downing tools today in a 24-hour strike over pay and conditions. The Australian reports that workers have effectively been confined to their rooms and face disciplinary action if they try to leave the work site while the strike's going on. But as I put it to former Snowy Hydro boss Paul Broad, this industrial action is probably the least of the project's problems.
Yeah, it probably is actually. And it doesn't surprise me they turn on a blue just after a Labor government gets in. So, you know, they're using their monopoly power to extract a few more rents out of it. And when you're running a cost-plus project, you can rest assured everyone's going to put their hand up for more.
Yeah, now give us your take on the status of the project. We had tunnel boring machines stuck for months on end. We've had more equipment brought in from overseas. Are they back on track?
No, they're a fair way behind still. Right from day one, it was always going to be complex drilling that sort of machines in the mountains, and sadly the contractor didn't deliver to the standard that you would expect of that sort of contractor. And that first tunnel boring machine got stuck about 100 metres in. They knew all about that ground before they launched it. So the fact it got stuck and they couldn't move it was an absolute disgrace, but reflected somewhat on their performance right from the get-go. They took over a year late to bring up the cabins and the accommodations in the mountains because they imported it from Italy. So there has been real issues with the contractor, and when not long after I left, they went to a cost-plus contract, which, in my view, was simply taking all the incentive away from the contractor to deliver on a performance-based contract. So you're always going to have these delays and problems, and it doesn't surprise me one little bit they're having it, but that's what it is. But I've got to say to you, Chris, this is a really good project. The engineering going into this project is phenomenal. At some point, someone will step back from this and say, what has been achieved on this site 10 years, 15 years' time will set new engineering standards, particularly the way they're running these tunnel boring machines uphill. So while there's all these drama with it now, and I accept all that, and I accept my responsibility as part of that, but in reality, what's going on is absolutely phenomenal in the depths of those mountains.
I'll come back to the benefits of the project in a moment, but just your best guess of where we're at. I mean, this thing looks like being a decade overdue, and the cost blowout could be almost tenfold, couldn't it, from the original $2 billion?
Well, I get hung out to dry on the $2 billion a lot, you know. As we said from day one, the feasibility worked out the cost to build the thing, which came in at 4.8, and with all the other costs associated, it was close to 6. So the cost-plus contract doubled, and it's not surprised on a cost-plus contract, and I think they've got more cost pressure coming. Now they're launching an additional tunnel boring machine. They're employing 1,500 more people on site now than they had originally budgeted for. So there are certainly cost pressures coming at them. I'd question lots of those, and I'll be interested to see in the wash-up of this thing how those costs are ever arrived at. But I suspect the thing won't be finished until probably 28 to 30 at the earliest, but that would coincide probably with the transmission lines which have to be built out of the mountains. There's no point really having 2.0 available to you if you can't get the power out when you need it. So the transmissions will determine when Snowy is of benefit to the market.
Now, talking about that benefit, of course, as we continue to build out renewables, we've got a national electricity grid that lacks energy reliability at the moment. That's where Snowy Hydro would really come into its own, being able to store that energy and provide some sort of base load, I suppose, as you say, when we need it. Is that going to be absolutely crucial to the system, given the lack of reliability in the system at the moment as coal-fired power stations shut down?
Well, I'm a bit in your camp. I think we are heading over a cliff on the renewables. While 2.0 and existing Snowy play enormous benefits to the system, you're going to need massive transmission upgrades and other things to really get all those benefits. But that's not going to be anything near enough to achieve the sort of things they're talking about. Even AEMO, you know, AEMO, in the bowels of AEMO, the real workers in AEMO, other than not the leaders of it, really know that they the model that they're trying to put together doesn't work. And they've been cheering me in particular and from the sidelines, and you probably as well, for having the courage to speak up and point out the facts and the flaws in what the government's proposing. They need at least another 8 2.0s, 8. So that'll take 80 years. They need at least another 8 2.0s to go anything like firming up this renewables that the Chris Bowen and Anthony Albanese have planned for us. I'll need 8.
Well, that's disastrous. That's not going to happen, right? That's not going to happen. Okay. So what do we do in the meantime?
Keep coal going. Keep coal going. Keep building gas plants. Access gas. We have more gas under the Hunter than there is in Bass Strait. Access gas. Build this one next to us. Build another one alongside it. Build one up there at Liddell. Build it now. Start it now. When I left Snowy, we wanted to double the size of Colongra. We wanted to double the size of the 2 gas plants in Victoria. Build gas plants. They can be built in relatively quickly, and all you simply got to do is access gas, and you can start to build them around where you've got transmission lines. Get gas plants up. Keep your base loaders going. Eraring, Bayswater, they're all got lots of life left in them. The notion they're all on their last legs is rubbish. They've just got to keep up a reasonable amount of investment, keep them going for much longer, and don't ever think about replacing them until you know what your alternative is going to work. That's
exactly. Don't unplug them till we know we're okay. It's not where the government's heading, but the engineering and the economics are going to hit them pretty hard eventually. Thanks for sharing your insights with us, Paul.
My pleasure, Chris. Anytime.